money is appropriated. HR director, if we're gonna do an HR director, it needs to be a director. And what that is, just like the electric system, they really don't have an HR director, they have a clerk, okay? And at one time, the electric system had a clerk, or maybe vice versa, the city, but anyway, we've established HR director. And in having an HR director that's dealing with our insurance, dealing with our personnel policies that we deal that need to be updated, and they definitely need to be involved in this new update coming up. Rand's been willing to work with this person to do it, and at the same time, we will pull trainees in, some of these people that we looked at, and let them see what we can do, because I think we'll eventually get a full-time HR director a little bit later on, but I'd like to do this to bring somebody in that that knows laws on labor relation, knows about the insurance, knows the policies we need to do, and what the state law and local allows us to do. I would like to do this, and let's go outside and get us an HR director.
Do you need a motion for that, Mayor, or what do we do there?
Well, we'll have to have a vote if we're gonna go outside.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
A5 is the city recorder position. Right now, I've talked to Kathy about this position. I'd like the board to approve her temporary fulfillment of this position until we exactly tell the board and we can discuss in the length what we'd like to do in this position and how we need to handle it. Because there are factors right now that I like to discuss with people in about a week, because I've got to get exactly, we've got to make some separation, and right now Kathy can't do some of the things that Cody was doing because it really wasn't in his wheelhouse. So we have to do some separation of this, and we have to figure out what exactly her job is gonna be and what we gotta separate it and allocate it to. It'll be up to the board to decide how we're gonna do this. So it's gonna take a little time to do this. I'd like to have it done by the next board meeting, but I'm asking right now to put her as temporary so we can list her as a city recorder.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Call roll.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
All right, 8.6 is LP RF Home Depot Stage 2 Park Grant. Well, I can't even see what it came coming
It says Home Depot.
with. It sure does.
Casey doesn't name it on the agenda.
Put that in here.
You make that the agenda.
Depot Park, we're gonna change that right now. Not Home Depot. Ain't that something? I done it. Depot Park. Man, we doing real good there. Okay. The way this is a grant. And what this is for them to submit for a grant. And if you look on, if I get there, the authorization, and that is on page 59, and A2H is the one that handled the first one, and what they want to do is submit one. The total is $450,757.45. And if we do this, it's a 50% match grant. So if we allocate it and we say we don't turn a grant in, that we know we're gonna be obligated for about $250,000 in money. And they said that this might not happen in the 26-27 budget, but I would not think that could happen, because if this one culminates, they're gonna go straight into this, so they'll be asking for the money. So you need to think hard before you vote on it. If you wanna put it on, it tells you a list of what they wanna do and how they wanna do it. So if we vote tonight to do this, then we'll be putting in the budget another $225,000.
And where would that come from?
Roger, sir, I do not know.
You know, did we take the last out of the liquor fund? And do we have money there that could?
I'm gonna tell you right now, we looked at this today, where we are right now. We're about $600,000 in the red. And what we're trying to do is find places we can trim and do this. If we just keep the budget flat, we're gonna have to trim a lot just to get in where we don't take over $300,000 out of unassigned fund balance. So that would add, now I can't say this positively, but it's gonna add this much in unassigned balance, I'm afraid.
The liquor fund, I do remember that
Yep.
from last time, it's only used for specific things.
The liquor fund, the way it is drawn up right now, is for industrial recruitment. They've publicly done that.
But Ab did tell me we can change that.
But hey, by the way, we can change it with resolution, okay? But so far, for this time, it was designated to do that. But if you vote, you can have a resolution, you can change how you want to spend that liquor money. Just be aware you can do that.
Can I ask, does anybody know where did that money come from the first phase? Kevin, do you have any chance to know? Did we get that? It was the same situation, 50% grant on phase one of the Depot Park. Did we get it from the liquor fund? I think that too, but I'm not.
I was thinking it comes from the liquor fund.
I'm not gonna say that's relevant.
No,
That didn't
no,
affect our
the
budget.
LPRF, I'm sorry, the LPRF, we were getting that from the rest of the ARPA fund, which is now
That's
zero.
right. We got it from ARPA fund. I remember that.
We just zeroed it out last week.
Yeah, we got that out of ARPA fund.
We don't have any.
Because Roger wanted to take it out of liquor fund, and Jeff said we couldn't do that. We had to take it out of liquor fund.
We actually did
I
end up
remember
having
Jeff
to
telling me
take
that.
some out of, sales tax to finish up. I think it was like 45,000, over exceeded what we had in ARPA. We had to take it out of sales tax for the final.
That makes more sense. We didn't take it out of our
No,
fund
no,
balance
no.
this time, so
No, we took it out of sales tax
we don't have those, we got sales.
after, yeah, that
And-
remaining balance was.
And be aware too, that I just talked to Casey, that the Dixon Street project that we thought we had a grant for is actually coming out of sales tax. And that has went over budget, so y'all need to be aware of that. Now, we ain't got to the final payment yet, but it's gonna be more than what was budgeted, I can tell you. So that's where we're at on that, so keep that in the back of your mind too.
Mayor, I just don't, even if we had the 250,000, I believe our people would rather have that spent on our streets instead of adding on to a park. So,
If we had it.
if we had it, that's what I'm saying, if we had it. So I don't know how we can vote, I can't vote to approve that.
I agree with that. I mean, I would like to see it, but we can't.
Me too.
We can't do
We
that.
just don't have it.
So that's fair, so if we stop at the first phase, does it leave an incomplete project, or is at least the first phase considered a complete project? And nobody made
First
that-
phase is complete, right, Christie?
So there's no.
This is
answer.
just for the second phase for the tennis courts.
So-
The playground will be completed, they say around about April.
So it's usable, the first phase is usable with no,
This next phase is just for basketball.
okay. so-
Christy, I'm curious, on that rock, are they putting something over that rock, or is that riffraff gonna stay like that? Like have you drove, like it's got big white rock, and I'm thinking if a child falls on that, it's gonna be not good.
Just because you're not applying this time doesn't mean you can't apply down the road, correct?
Casey told the mayor and those in the group the other day would be better just not do it than to get it and sit it out.
Yeah, they said, we talked to the lady, and you'd better not do it and reapply it later than it would be to do it and back out. And that's what she said, always. So we have to have a motion to approve it, so we're doing anything, we just don't do anything. Now, 8.7 has got to do with the memo they got from the comptroller. It had to do with our annual budget we're supposed to turn in. It's on page 63. And basically what it's saying is that the accounting firm in the electric system, because of, I'm not really sure what it was, but anyway, they didn't get their audit in time. And the city couldn't send ours in because we had, the electric system has to give it to Goblin and Associates for us to turn ours in, so we was getting beat up over that. But I believe now, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got that done now, right, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, so this all has been done, but they sent this letter about 2 days, on March 18th, before we was able to get this done. So we've got it completed now and it's gone in. So that's what this letter was about. They was getting scared it wasn't gonna do it. So that's been straightened out. And Government Associates now has turned our audit in. And number 8.8 is conflict of interest resolution. All right, I'm gonna try to explain a little bit if I can. If you look at the last 2 pages on this document, and I'm gonna say I'm unaware until I read this and it was presented to me that Ken Walker brought this to me and wanted me to understand. You have a direct and indirect conflict of interest. Now, direct conflict of interest, you can't vote. What that means is, say you're bidding on mowing the cemetery and you're a member of this board. That's a direct conflict of interest, what it is. Indirect conflict of interest, it says that the city's got a piece of property out here they're renting, and you come along and buy it, and that contract's already in place, then that's indirect because you bought something that's already been placed, and even though you get the money off of it, you didn't make the commitment. That's indirect, is what that is. So anything you do, and that does not, you have to exclude yourself from voting. If it's indirect conflict, what you have to do is you have to tell the board that I indirectly get compensated, but it does not keep you from voting. If it's direct conflict of interest, you can't vote because you're personally getting money for doing that. That's what that is. This resolution right here on page, excuse me, page number, sorry. It's at 65. It's a resolution. They don't have a number yet. We'll put one to it. And this was turned in to Ken Walker, our conflict of interest officer for the city. Now, I don't know if everybody on the board's aware how this thing works and understood it's been in place all these years, but it is. But somebody complained and turned this into Ken, and what he had to do, he had to answer the complaint and what he did. And it's read out. If you want to read the thing, it goes down through the whole thing. And I believe what it is, Roger, is they had a complaint because you had not said indirect conflict of interest when you voted on tax increase is what it's saying. And
Yes.
And that's what it says. And all it is it's saying in the future that you got, we all, not just you, but anybody on the board, if you have anything, any member of your family or anything gets compensation indirectly that that you're kin to or married to or anything like that, that you will get it indirectly, that you have to say, I have a conflict, but it does not keep you from voting.
Correct.
Okay? Right.
I've got a statement if I could.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind. I want to address the recent discussion regarding my vote on this citywide, what it was a citywide pay adjustment and the concern about the potential conflict of interest. First and foremost, I take my responsibility to serve people here in Lexington seriously. And at no time was there any intent to mislead, conceal, or act improperly. My family members, 2 of them worked here, one 25 years, the other one 30 or so. All board members knew at the time they were here. Nobody said anything. Wasn't their place to say anything. But wasn't trying to hide the fact that they worked here at all. The vote in question involved a citywide pay adjustment affecting all employees. My understanding at the time was that because the measure applied broadly across the entire workforce and not specifically to any individual, it did not constitute a direct conflict requiring a recusal. That said, I respect the importance of transparency and public trust. In hindsight, I understand how this situation could be viewed differently, and I take that seriously. If a disclosure or recusal would have been provided greater clarity to the public, I would have gladly done so. It is also worth noting that similar votes have occurred in the past under comparable circumstances, and this issue was not previously raised at all. However, I do believe this is an opportunity for all of us to ensure that expectations are clearly defined moving forward. I remain committed to serving this community. I will continue to follow all the applicable ethics guidelines, and I will err on the side of full disclosure in any situation where there may be a question. And I thank the citizens that continue to support and trust me in this position here. But, you know, we're here tonight. I own what happened. I'm not trying to blame anybody else. I'm not pointing anybody else out. Doesn't matter what somebody done in the past. This was mine. I understand. I apologize to my colleagues up here for putting them in the position they are. But I can assure you that I've got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. All right. Does the board want to take an action or do anything, or what they'd like to do?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. What's your motion?
The motion is, as it's written here, the board hereby formally censures Alderman Roger Lofton for failing to recognize the conflict of interest on the tax increase measure funding salary adjustments that directly or indirectly benefited his family members employed by the city. This board expresses its disapproval of this action and reaffirms its commitment to ethical governance, including strict adherence to the requirements in matters involving personal and family interests. A copy of this resolution shall be delivered to Alderman Lofton, which it was, entered into the official minutes of the board and made part of the public record. It takes effect immediately upon adoption, so I make a motion that this censure goes through.
Do I have a
second.
Who seconded? Who? Give me a second. Is there any more discussion?
I heard the word direct and indirect in that statement.
Well,
I heard the word direct and indirect.
well, this is
Indirect.
This is indirect.
Well, but I've heard that statement that you said direct.
Need it?
See how that's.
I'm reading off your paper you got, I think, probably.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be, it should be indirect is what it should be.
And it's got the word or
And that's
between.
probably, me and Ken looked at this several times and we tried to change the words to get it where it was supposed to be right, but it should be indirect is what it says. So if it says direct, it'd have to be changed to indirect is what it has to be. Okay, you got that now? Okay, all right. Well, you know what? We took that out, huh? We got that.
Well, you have the word or between it. It doesn't say and.
It should be indirect. It should be adjustment, indirect, no,
I do understand what it is.
it's supposed to be that, okay, all right,
We can fix it.
okay, all right.
Paragraph number 22. Paragraph two needs to be fixed. Personnel says 6.6, and the lens is misspelled.
All right, call for the vote.
Chip Park,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Jeannie White,
Yes.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
No, because he did not vote for a tax increase, and that's what it says in there. He's not voted for one.
That's it. All right,
I
Yeah, go
got
ahead.
one other thing.
Yes, sir.
Could we have put on this agenda every time, does anybody have that anything we need to declare or recuse ourselves from? Where it will be a reminder to say, okay,
I will, if we come up with a vote that has anything to do with money, like tax, anything I think that I would think would be a conflict of interest, I would remind them that they didn't understand what they're voting for, and they have a conflict of interest.
And maybe we can help each other too. you know?
well, that would be the problem all along, I think. Sometimes we don't want to do that, and I'm with you, we you know, somebody had just spoken up that day, if they had known it, then I wouldn't be here. It was simple as saying, she works here, or he works here. That was important,
I will do that, and I'll make a note, they do this right here, I put it on this piece of paper, they be aware of this kind of thing.
thanks.
Everybody okay with that? All right, that's it, anybody else? Jeremy?
Thank you.